Hello, everybody. Hopefully you're there. We're going to try this. I'm on my dodgy USB-C, but we're going to go live because there's a lot happening. So I thought rather than try and type it all out for everybody, let's just get it into the chat. I'm going to get a copy of the link on there, get people on the page up. So just be with me. I'm clicking here, and we'll just do it if we can. And we will see. We're being very flexible right now, and hopefully anybody can join us. Let's go. Instagram needs a picture. Yeah, I know it does. I'm just going to try and find a picture. Let's go. Hopefully we can get going. We'll just use one from anyway that. And I'll jump on the chat and see who's managed to jump on and join us. Let's. It'll do. Rightio. Let's go. Hopefully, we've got some people join us, and because it is fairly hectic out there, and I don't think anybody's joining us, but that's okay. We can pop out the chat. We'll stick it over there on the stream like we normally do. It's been a while since we've done one of these. It's great to catch up, but there's been literally no weather in the last minute. Of course, it's always on a weekday when everybody's busy and as usual. But anyway, let's have a see who's joining us. Hopefully, some people are going to join us and jump in the chat. Let us know you're here. Hopefully, you can hear me because I have no idea what's going on at the moment. um, my messages are going literally nuts. Oh, Charlotte Wood flying into Sydney. Good pictures there, Charlotte. Thank you. Hello, Daniel. But no, sorry. Out your way. Studying is still quite over yet, but it's certainly looking like it's struggling now. We'll have a check of the radar and we'll hop into it. Let's see what the Bureau is saying in their warnings. It's easier to cover everything on here. Yeah, there's one last storm heading over me at the moment. We missed out here too, Daniel. Don't worry. We had some big drops, but they went all to the south. I think somewhere in the Shire got it though. So lucky them. I hope everybody's all good out that way. And hope you can hear me nice and clear because it looks like it's going clear. You can probably hear that storm clicking in the background. Let's have a look at what's going on. We got plenty of pictures of stuff pouring in too, so pretty can have a look at those. Mr. Well, muggy here. It's muggy here too. I had some massive drops, and that is about all I saw. But other people have had lucky them. Now I'm looking at. Well, I'm starting to look at radar and see exactly what's going on. We'll drop the satellite picture on it as well. We can see here that trough. You can see the southerly is slowly up the coast, which is interesting for southerly. That normally indicates there's actually some deep cold air with it. So I'm expecting it'll get a nice little cool change. We might get another actually blast of showers and pretty coastal storms tonight, but the decent stuff is hanging there. You can see there's actually a very nasty storm with 5+ centimeters up there heading towards the Hunter. So they're all saying nothing here yet. Well, it's on its way, and it's probably going to be worse than what we've seen because it's had a lot more time to tap into that heat and energy ahead of it as opposed to our stuff. But I'm still impressed that we actually got something given the cap that we had today and the conditions, and it wasn't that brilliant to be fair. But we saw something, and many of the doubters said we would see nothing. We didn't get exactly everything we wanted, but you know what? It's still there. I might pop over to actually to Windy now because it's actually got a better bit of a sort of combined stuff. I'll move that chat in a bit more because I can't see anything. Yeah, I know it's boring. I totally agree with you. Not much here. It's doing the gymnastic splits around Penrith. Yeah, it'd be much here too. Like it was that 5 centimeter hailstorm was heading straight at me, and then just like whoop. But you know what? I mean, given everything today, I'm still pretty happy we saw something. There's some absolute beasts out there. You can see, especially that stuff out in the emoji. Mr. Well, if you're still your family still, it might be interesting to get some eye or updates or what's going on for them. Even if they've got any pictures, please let us know because That is a beast of a storm out there. You can see this one here, just near Safari, I think that is, near Hill End, yep, near Bathurst. That is a very, very nasty storm. Um, this one here, just to the south, is a nasty one too, and you can see that one just off the coast. It's quite nasty, but they all managed to skip us, unfortunately. Well, skip some places, but there was a pretty nasty, nasty big hail at there at one stage, especially. We'll look at the let's have a look at this now. It's anything about windy. Here we go. Let's put it up on the screen so we'll see what's going on. You see that stuff over there. You can see it's pretty much pretty the end of it, I'd say, not far away. You can see pretty much clear and dry air to that southwest. And that next we'll get an injection of extra moisture and cool air, which still may spark something up, mind you, because then we'll get a bit of a like a quasi dry line situation as that northwesterly sort of westerly sort of pushes back in for a little while ahead of that change as it's pushing up. But uh, it's been better than I thought it would be today. So we'll go around town and look at the cameras. Nothing much happening there. Nothing much to the south there. You can see some storms up to that north west. I've had for the northern beaches, but not much. Let's have a look at the double bay. I mean, look at that. I love that noise in the background of that crisp white. That's some big storms. But unfortunately, I think that camera, if I recall, is looking towards the northeast or something. So that is going away from us. So not going to see anything out of that. But still, it looks pretty, that crisp whiteness. Hopefully the sound's better today too. Been a while since I've hopped on there. Mr. Sharp, hello. Lovely to see you. An official mayor of Camden and Checkered Flag Photography. Lovely to meet you too, Javi. Welcome. Splitsville around the reef, yeah, unfortunately. It has still been a bit hit and miss, but welcome to dry line. Well, sorry, capped inversion, ruined storm days. I'm still, still absolutely impressed we got something. So let's be thankful for that. To be honest, we saw something. I mean, I heard thunder for like a few flashes. I think wasn't anything exciting, but still better than none. Some people got it, some people didn't. That's the nature of the game with these sort of situations. But still, better than the poor people in the gong. Shout out to Stephen down there. Sorry to rub your nose in it, but at least we saw something. Let's go back to here. We'll get rid of those cameras and we'll just go back to the sat pic and we'll play that in the background. You can see that aside from that beast up there in the upper hunt, of course, I've got this. Here comes that maritime mark. Look at that absolute maritime blanket of stability. And you can see the ripples in it's pretty also cumulus, let's say, or even actually more stratocumulus, let's say. Look at that color. You can see how it's very, very yellow. That's very moist and very close to the surface. So it's even picking up so the sunlight, so the last as the sunlight goes over it, that sort of yellow color. You can see this white crisp stuff is upper level cloud, anvil stuff. So that's stratocumulus, but look at the ripples in it. There's definitely some strong winds there. And you can see those ripples as it pushes up against the water and sort of buffets against the Great Dividing Range, and with that strong shear. And even out to here, you can see that. Wouldn't be surprised if there's a bit of a roll cloud coming up with this change with that, all those lines. Oh my God, it's chemtrails. Oh, talking about chemtrails. My God, I need a chemtrail after dealing with those people today. Um, But anyway, yeah, it's definitely an interesting day. But that looks like it's interesting because it's not that cool there. But you can see here when we zoom out, there's the roll cloud associated with the change coming. Look at that, beautifully picked up. So that orangey color, but that, you can imagine that would be a beautiful big roll cloud racing up the Tasman. Hopefully someone gets to see it. You can see there's not a lot of cold air behind it, but then there's this surge coming from behind it. And it's not overly cold, like it's not, you're never going to see that sort of Antarctic popcorn stuff that you would see during cold season. You can see here as that cold air, it basically hits Tasmania and wraps around and hits up towards us. But still, it's not looking overly massive. Look at those storms right up that trough line, way up into southwest Queensland. Incredible. And some pretty close to supercells, if not, that teardrop looking sort of shape there. Big blanket of colder, cooler maritime stable air here surging towards us, but I'm not sure most of it's going to make it. And you can see these sort of mare's tails coming up storms way up there. And here's the colder air way below here, but that's going to get deflected by this approaching trough and system here. You can see how it's sort of coming up and then sort of getting beaten back down again. Nothing really going on there. to give us decent cold air anyway. Um, but otherwise, it is pretty much, you know, yeah, you're going to be salty. Mr. Callahan's going to be salty if he gets missed by the good stuff. Well, join the queue, Mr. O'Callaghan, because I missed out as well. It's looking almost like it's all over Red Rover, unfortunately, but sorry, I'm just trying to get 55 inboxes at the moment. Yeah, not much going on at all, but you can see, I mean, this is how big this trough is. It backs all the way up into Darwin, actually. And good bit of tropical moisture. You can see here that cumulus field right back up into the top end, and thanks, this actual moisture is a bit thanks to the heat trough, or the heat low, sorry, which is now churning away over here in northeast WA, and precursor to obviously the monsoon developing later in the year, and really needs this area to bake and bake and bake, and it gets so hot that all the air gets sucked up, and then it sucks across that air. Love this little roll cloud and sort of delineation here between that colder air, the polar air you can see, and then obviously the warmer subcontinent continental air there. Very much a boundary there, an MS boundary. You can see, just love it when you get that sort of stuff in this crisp. And you can see the same for us here. You can see that colder maritime air, moist maritime air pushing into, and you can see the basically the line where the Great Dividing Range is. And on the west hand side, drier, warmer continental air, and on the eastern side, that cooler, moister maritime air, and never the twain shall meet. As the air gets advected across up over the Great Dividing Range, and it gets automatically obliterated and shredded by the warm air on the other side. So ain't not much there. But for us, of course, where the Great Dividing Range does kick inland a bit, that this horrible maritime muck stuff does get to sneak up and then sort of invade the basin and give us a day or two of that horrible overcast stratocumulus rubbish. But I don't think that's going to be the case. There might be some showers tomorrow morning, but again, as I said to you, there's nothing a lot connected um, with this system at all, as you can see. Actually, let me know how the stream's going too, because I'm actually on a USB-C dongle at the moment because my lovely Thunderbolt 4 hub that I only had for like a few months, as you know, died, and they're obviously fixing it and replacing it, and it hasn't arrived yet. They promised me it was going to be arrived till yesterday and today. I'm like, yeah, I'll be able to test it for this, but not. But the USB-C hub seems to be doing okay. It's not too lag from what I can see on the OBS, but I'm not sure how you guys experience it. But welcome to Rachel. Hello, Rachel. Love you. Thank you for that video. I mainly posted as I could. Hello, Naz1967. Hello, Peter H. You would be definitely safe to drive, Peter, from Wellington Craft now. You'll be fine. Mr. James D, thank you. Biggest hail I've seen in Camden Park. Yeah, you're surprised. If you got any pictures, James, send them through to me in the via Messenger, please, because I'd love to put them on the page for you and share them, because it would have been absolutely massive out your way, because it was 4 centimeters, 4 centimeter hail at one stage, or 5 centimeter hail actually, which is, I think that 5 centimeters is like golf ball, maybe even a bit bigger. Mr. Maxwell would know that he's definitely a size queen. I mean, a hail experience extraordinaire. I'm pretty sure 4 centimeters or even 5 centimeter hail is golf ball size, if I recall, which is pretty extraordinary actually. And we were the only weather page warning for it for days. Oh my God, it was getting. Thank you. That's Mr. Oh, excellent. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, Mr. James. I have just got that through. That's a good size too. That's probably what. It's not golf ball, but it's marble. At least maybe bigger than marble. What would you call that size? I'm going to pull it up on the page. So just give me a second. Yeah, I've got to just. It's not as easy because I've got the no Thunderbolt, but I should be able to actually just bring that up via Messenger and bring that across and just hop into uh, Messenger desktop is going away. Well, oh, you're just a ball of new happiness, Facebook. They're taking everything away now. You can't do anything. They get rid of all your videos. Messenger is going away. Will no longer be available after December 2025, and you instead use the web. What the hell? So we're going backwards. We're going back to 1996. Good job, Facebook. Good job. All right, let's go. I'm going to be able to see if I can actually. It's pretty better if I download that. How about that? Oh, it's good quality too. Um, I can see your fingerprint there, James. So I'm going to be able to report you to the cops for a few crimes. So thanks for that. Joking, of course. All right, how do I? Oh, I'm just going to drag this across. Oh, it's actually opening a picture. There you go. Hopefully you guys can see that. No, you can't because I just got a picture of James's hand. What size do you reckon that is? I reckon that's definitely not golf ball, but it's definitely bigger than Marvel. What do you reckon? That's a good picture of hail. That's a great size, actually. That would definitely do some dents in your car. Um, Definitely 3 centimeter, if not 4 centimeter, but I'm not sure what you. I mean, grape size? Is that between sort of like marble and golf ball? Grape size, I wonder? Anybody want to have a guess? You have a big hand. Oh, I don't know what they say about big hands. Anyway, I don't know. I think that Mr. Well, where are you? Lurking in the background there. What do you reckon? Is that a grape size? I mean, if James has got big hands, then that's probably going to make the hail look a bit smaller. So maybe it is, getting close. It's not golf ball though, because I mean, his hands shouldn't be that big, surely, unless he maybe is very talented, in that respect. Oh, Dita, lovely to see you, Small Hill Ashfield. Thank you. Lovely to catch you online, Dita. And I must say, everybody, that Dita has the cutest voice. Did send me a voicemail the other day, a message, because we were trying to work out how to get access to this space with the stuff because there was this Corona hole we were trying to look at and we couldn't quite work it. And she got very frustrated with the system, so she sent me a voicemail, instructing me how to do it. Oh, sorry, not a voicemail, a voice message. And she has the cutest voice, like a little anime sort of voice. Very cute. Not going to embarrass you there, Dita, but I'm going to embarrass you. So to stuck it up. Anyway, still back to measuring size here. Anybody got an idea? Give me some shout outs in the comments. Come on, peeps. I want to hear your thoughts. 5 to 6 centimeters. Ooh, that's definitely golf ball close. Um, Definitely golf ball close. 5 to 6 centimeters. Um, yeah, almost golf ball. I think it's between sort of grape and golf ball. There's no sort of, I can't think of any sort of reference between those two that really relates. Oh, cherry tomato size, maybe. There we go. Not golf ball, but definitely not sort of bigger than grapes. The cherry tomato size. There we go. We've been vetted a new hail category. The category is cherry tomato. Rock size. Oh, God. Is that the size of the rocks you throw at your neighbors, Dita? I'm pretty sure it is. Well, those clowns on Facebook that give you a hard time. I'm not sure it's golf ball, Daniel. I think it's a bit small on golf ball because golf ball would be a bit bigger than that. I think. I don't know, but definitely cherry tomato size for me. I mean, unless he's got massive hands. And if he's got massive hands, and lucky the people know him. Um, Last time we saw that house size was living in Dural. That one surprised me. We haven't had decent sales in Sydney for a long time, eh? We've had a couple of isolated sort of stuff recently, some very localized decent stuff, but not widespread hail. I mean, and that's good, I guess. Not I guess. It's good because we've avoided that sort of hailstorm damage and destruction that we saw. But I haven't seen a hail for so long, to be honest. I think the last time I saw it was tiny. Um, it wasn't even worth talking about, to be honest. Angry shower here in Darlinghurst. Thank you for that. Lychee size. Yeah, lychee's a good. Looks like one of those lychees, doesn't it? Love lychees. Yeah, lychee, cherry tomato. I'd go with that. About a grape. Yeah, sounds about right. No videos of how though. I'm embarrassed. Well, we'll be speaking later, Dita. Don't worry about that. An hour before Mr. Sharp, Mr. Howell. Damn. Hello, Ben. Lovely to see you. Very dark here in Manly. Yep, you've definitely got some. We'll put James's large hands just off screen for a little bit, and we'll go back and have a check of um, the radar and see what is going on there. We'll turn off the sat pic because it does tend to make things a bit messy. We'll go into the local view. And we'll go there, and I'm going to make it a bit larger for you all, so you're not having to get the monocles out and try and read it. And this is where one of these, I love these guys, where the watch, but on their satellite pictures, they have like an enlargement feature, but they don't have it on the radar, which is really frustrating. But yeah, okay, so definitely some potential hell heading away too, Ben, by the way. Looking at that, we'll slow that right down, and let's go through that frame by frame so we get a decent idea. So you can see those white triangles are where the radar algorithm identifies long-lasting uh, updrafts or potentially severe updrafts. You can see here those white triangles with a number in it. That's hail, and the size of it. That's on radar, so it's not guessed. It's actually measured by obviously the Doppler radar, which is these days quite accurate in many things, except if you ask the 5G crew, of course. Um, Definitely something here. You can see how that little hook at the back of there, that's actually quite a strong storm. And I can actually see that from my sort of window here in the back of it. There's a couple of prongs that hang down the back of it. So that storm ain't over yet. There's one there that's coming towards Richmond. It looks like it's really starting to hit the wall. It's starting to get to beer o'clock for storms. So I'm not sure we might get that. But we'll just pop into um, that 32K and we'll have a look at the that stuff heading towards Manly Way. So you can see here, just at the bottom, you see how that hook at the back there. Lightning is ignore the lightning. It's 10 minutes or 15 minutes delayed too. So you might look at it and think, oh no, there's not much lightning. But yeah, this is not a good judge for lightning just because of the way it takes obviously ages. But you can see here this solid wall, and you can see how that jet goes at the back. And if I go to here, just give me a sec. I'll go to 3D radar and we'll pop up and have a look at that. To see that hook at the back there, that indicates a pretty strong updraft. I have to zoom out a little bit, sorry, because otherwise the 3D radar goes a bit spaz. I mean, definitely there's definitely a chance of hail in that. Freeze out there, you can see this large core of red, and the tinge of purple, and you can see how high that updraft goes to, like we're 7 kilometers, 8 kilometers there. This one's well over 11 kilometers. That's a massive storm. That's massive. And that one here is the one down towards Cronulla Way. This is the one heading towards that way to Manly Way. So don't forget, the radar beam starts out here and heads down towards the south. Now, we might just zoom out and have a look at this stuff up here in the back here, boondocks, out in up in them hills, up near Collahotes. I hope Tracy and our friends down at Lower Portman are okay there, because they're about to get something go very close to them, I think. But definitely a good sized storm there at Colo. Let's have a look. Since between that, this is one of the annoying things between these zooms. It's like it's either too far out or it's too close in. See, it's just I can't get anything. There's just nothing that goes in between it. Maybe that might be it. No, it's way too far away. You can see how far, like how minuscule it makes it. And if I go to 128, it's not too bad, but still. And then all I've got after that is, I'm pretty sure that's 64 Ks, and it's just a bit too far. Not too bad though. Um, Definitely some big storms out there. And if I was to turn the velocity on, which is this is the wind part. So what we're just looking at is the rainfall part. This is the wind part, and you can see here, that's a pretty nasty storm. You can see I'll just freeze frame it about there. Oh, it's doing that stupid thing where it goes with color. You look here, this is where you're looking at. So you can see the different colors here. And that's evidence of quite a strong storm. But for some reason, their software does this, and I've let them know a few times, but they haven't fixed it. You can see here. So don't forget that blue is towards radar, yellow is away from radar. So that's actually sort of rotating around. That's a pretty nasty storm there. And that sort of chunk there is the angle. So the air gets sucked up from the surface and that's blowing away, because it actually should be coming towards us. But I think that's just the way the radar actually is looking at us, because we're looking from here back towards that. So this should be coming towards the radar, but I think we're looking around the back of it there. There's still a bit of an area around the back here, but there's no real updrafts going on I can see that's going to cause us any sort of interesting, unfortunately. Um, so it does look like it's pretty much over. There's a bit of this sort of area here. That's a decent sort of towering cumulus there, pretty close to being a storm. So just to the west southwest of Liverpool, between Liverpool and Camden. But realistically, if we were to zoom out any further, she's pretty dead out here. Pretty dead, unfortunately. We'll go back here now and we will stick on the OBS. Gives us an idea what's going on. You can see one of the reasons why things are starting to struggle. Look at those. Those green numbers are the dew point, and that's basically moisture. Look at this behind it, 11, dew point 11. bit moisture out there because obviously that rain 16, but you can see here 13. And dew points of 13 where there's a storm right near it. That not a good sign. That means there's plenty of dead dry air, and that northwesterly starting to push in again, which is what I was saying to you before. So that's why I'm saying tonight still there's still a chance of that southerly change actually kicking up something because that moist or that air, that northwesterly is pushing through again, which is what we want to see. Because then you have a bit of a convergence going on. So you can see here, it's not far away there, that change. We've got southerlies at Stanwell Park, or Guatemala, I think that is. Southerlies is in the Gong. And if I was to go into the Gong, we'll have a quick look there and see where the change is at. Let's go. We don't need 34 Ks. So this is Appen. This is Appen Radar. That's a classic marine air mass. That's the radar actually just picking up stuff on the sea, and sometimes that's actually even sea spray if the sea's big enough. Weirdly enough, you think the radar's far enough away, but yeah, that's a very classic sign that there's a change coming, and it's cooler maritime sort of muck. Very air. We'll just check out the velocity. It might give us a. So let's just play that. Create that. Put the loop up. Not too fast. Yeah, you can see how that. You can see it pushing towards radar there, and it gets to between the Terry Hills and Appen, so it gets a bit confusing around here between that Stanwell Park. So you think, oh, it's not coming, but it's definitely coming. So you can see. Actually, what I want you to do is actually we'll just pause this out because there's actually some interesting situations going. So we've got this southerly change coming in from the south. You've got the trough pushing through, that 4 centimeter hail up before just off me, near me, and it missed me. What a bugger. So you got this is the trough pushing out. And it's pretty the mid-level, it's pretty much so much the surface, maybe a little bit of surface that's pushing out. And then you watch this arc coming in here, flying out the back of this storm. You watch this, that's actually the outflow. So there's, see this here? That's the sort of the change, but also the outflow of that storm. And you know why I know it's the outflow is because the dew points are so low that the air is a bit dry. So that shows it's like the dead air of the storm. And you've got then this change coming through behind it. So it's a very complicated scenario at the moment. Here again, change coming up here. Trough sort of pushing up this way and a bit of an outflow boundary from the storm here as we move in. It's very sort of things are going all over the place. And so it's why things are a bit confusing. But you can see very clearly here that very clear line as it goes up and pushes into the west. And we'll be interesting to see exactly where that, but that change is not far away here now. Almost pushing into the south. In fact, I wouldn't be surprised if we check OBS now. Let's have a look. Bet you this updated warning, so you can see here, which is what I worked that cell. So that will probably be nasty, so keep an eye on that. And that's now warning out for that. You can see Gosford and the upper Hunter now in the firing line for some stuff. Thank you for Haley if you're listening for those pictures of the coast. I might actually bring them up and show you what's going on the sunny coast. But yeah, let's have a look at OBS because I reckon we're probably not far off seeing. There you go. Airport starting to get southerly now. I think that's pretty outflow from the storm that's directly away from it. I'm not sure that's actually change because have a look at what we wanted to look at is we'll go to here. This might be here, this southeasterly wind, like in the Holsworthy. So that very far south part, maybe the change. Guatemala definitely is. Look at that. Southerlies up to nearly 60 or 65 Ks an hour. Definitely pushing through there. So Kernel, south-southwest. So no, it's not, the change hasn't quite pushed through yet. In fact, it will be pushing through my place any minute now. In fact, I'm starting to see the trees start to shake around a bit. That or my blood sugar's low. I'm not quite sure which one it is. Ben Manley. Yeah. Oh, you sent a picture through. Thanks, Ben. Just watching YouTube live. G'day, Ben. Thank you for that. Excellent. I'm just waiting for that picture to come through, and I'll just get Haley's from Sunny Coast because it looks like there's some decent bubbling going away there. So we'll just okay. So we don't want text edit. How do I get back out of here? We go. Maybe not. Okay. So what a failure. There we go. Beautiful. Okay. Someone's sending some stuff now. So Addison, if you're listening, thank you so much. Yeah. And you just sent me an Instagram. Sorry, I'm just trying to Just replies message. Okay, let's go to Haley. Let's get her pictures up, and we'll bring that across. Maybe not. Actually, bugger, I was going to download it. I'll bring it up, show you guys that way, a bit quicker. And trying to get, oh wow, I actually see some of his convections he's just got pictures of. Pretty snazzy. Let's go. If I can find my downloads folder because Facebook Messenger is being a goat. There we go. Right, downloads, where are we? Oh, come on, like seriously. Hello. Hey boy, caramba. Show me, bring it to front. Okay, why can I not see my downloads? How ridiculous is this? I can't see it. Why is it not showing me? Show me the money. All right, I'm going to actually try and beat this system up. Finder, window. It's just weird. It will not bring it to the front. I am not. Where is it? Where has it gone? Oh my goodness. I knew this. Always occasions even try and do anything with Messenger. The most annoying thing on the planet. But anyway, its end is coming. Its end is nigh. Why can I not see Messenger? That is my downloads. That is just bizarre. All right, well, fuck that. We'll take it out of full mode and we'll just bring it across here. You guys can see it this way. I don't know where it's gone. But anyway, check that convection out for this. It is pretty damn chunky. Look at that. And you can see the rotation in that cell as it goes up. I'm not a supercell, I'm not saying that at all, but there's definitely some aggressive convection going on there. And this is from the Central Coast right now. Look at that beautiful cauliflower explosive convection. Look at that. Excellent stuff. That's some good pictures. And that's the end of the world coming after the storm. So there you go. You saw it here first on the nerds, the end of the world. And it's going to be the end of Messenger because no one can get out of it. Let us get out of Messenger, you derpy thing. Anyway, there we go. I really like that. Is a beautiful photograph. It's pretty, not even zoomed in now. Look at that. It's just so crisp and white. You can see that beautiful, the moisture. Ah, she zoomed in, so she's actually, but that's beautiful still. And you can see the upper level cloud that sort of covering it there. Beautiful. Get rid of that off the page. Let's go right here. And let's go. All right. Now see, let's go and have a look at Manly again. We might actually bring up, we bring up, I should have got really windy. There we go. Ben's just, I've just got those photographs through then, Ben. I don't know what is going on. Putting everything so lagged. There we go. So this is what thanks to Ben, looking for Manly. You see that definitely coming towards him. Bit of tinge of green in there, so it's definitely, I think there's some hail headed your way. Just be aware of that. Definitely, you can see that sort of greenness, and that's probably a little bit of an artifact from the rendering of the image, but definitely will be still some hail in there. Not big, but definitely possible. The Bureau has warned for it too, so there's obviously something on their algorithm that says there's something coming up. It's potential. All right, let's go and have a look. We'll pull up your old Windia and get onto the webcams and see if we can have a look what's going on here. Zoom into Sydney if I go the wheel the right way. Hopefully not make your motion sick. Let's go and go away, go away, go away. That webcams, open webcam detail. Let's have a look. That looks like it's old, 435. That's an old. So, it must be the camera's down. Well, that's not good. Just when it was its busiest. No, it says it's on. What? Okay. Oh, okay, I see what they've done to Windy now. They're getting still images. They're not even letting him put the real loop on anymore. That's pretty sad. Oh, I'll just get it on. I will get it on YouTube. Just bear with me. I'll do it off screen and drag it across. We can look at it that way. Maybe I can even see YouTube because I can't see anything else at the moment. I'm probably not going to be able to see it, am I? Because I'm streaming. Well, that's a bugger. I'll get it on the browser instead. I'll start me a window. I will drag it off here. Put the radar back on. Go back to Sydney. We'll check that out. Put it back to reflectivity. There you go. It's just saying there's probably some hail coming towards him, and there is definitely some hail on almost over Manly right now. Two big pink cores there. That's hail, and this other sort of thing coming through, just north of Mascot, and this other one near Liverpool again is actually intensifying and possibly severe, moving into severe stage as well. So interesting times now. We probably um, missed a live camera for Sydney, but we'll have a look. Beautiful. Here we go. And then I'll give us a chance to have a look at. See, look at that beast down there. That's just what's gone off the coast, off Cronulla. You can see that haze is around. It's a bit of that. You can see the southerly is definitely starting to push through the harbour. That haze is actually, I was about to say that haze is the southerly, and you can see here the flags on top of the bridge are really starting to flap. You can see that real, that's that southerly pushing in right now. Now, this is what may actually fire this stuff back up because um, you can see here already cumulus starting to form towards the south. It's really starting to get quite windy here. But the back of that storm, I can tell you, is pretty impressive. It's got a definitely really nice, aggressive updraft. Now let's go out of here and see if I can get the other camera, which is the one that swings around. Uh, why is Carl Stepanavik on there? Let's have a look. Where is? We go to here. Go to their page. Number 2 is what we want. And looking towards Garden Island. As you can see out towards the coast, you can see a bit of the scuddy stuff. You can see that haze and that sort of in the background there. That is a change pushing through. And we want them to start going to the left, but I think we've pretty missed it. I think they were just that's the back of the end of that storm going through Manly. I think that's pretty as much as we're going to see, to be honest, unfortunately. And I don't think there's a northern facing camp with them at the moment. Um, and the time that we actually wanted to go, we actually wanted to swing to the west, which it had was that time where we last time we were on here. It's not going to do it this time, but definitely, so you can see here fresh convection on the top of those here. So definitely keep an eye on that because that's definitely you can see that bubbling in. Um, and you can see here that fresh tops there. You can see there's fresh tops there, and there's fresh tops along the here as well. And that's definitely the change pushing through. So we'll see how that goes. This here, this cloud up top here, that's Anvil. We can see how it's cutting back though. That's a pretty strong storm. When the Anvil actually pushes back against the winds which are blowing it, it's called back shearing. When a storm back shears like that, that's a very strong storm. That's you're talking about the STR bosses in storms in terms of that. It's a very strong storm indeed. And unfortunately, it peaked just off us. So everybody missed out most of the stuff, but that was definitely got some big hail in that. All right, let's go here and have a look. We should have that on play. We'll probably zoom out now and see if we can catch where the change is. Probably 64 is big enough. And we'll hit that out a little bit so we get a bit more. You can see that moving through there now. You can see that white triangle, which indicates that it's identified as potentially severe. You can see this one here near Chester Hill, still screaming in. And then what we're going to do is we switch to velocity, which is the actual Doppler or the air, and just see if we can get a bit of an indication just where that wind is. So you can see here that this gauge here is Guatemala, and this is the AWS, and you can see here 48 kilometers an hour gusting, which is not overly strong, but it's not too bad. But you can see the dew points now is 16. You can see the temperature is still 28 degrees, so it's still quite not pushing through. So, and you can see ahead of it though, the winds are northerly at Campbelltown Way and Camden Way, and still dew points 21 and 17. So it's still quite sticky out there. And these blue areas here are air, some of the winds, some of the air moving out there. Could be some cloud around, it could be some dust, but definitely you can see the change pushing up. So, and it's creating this bit of a convergence zone here where there's northerlies, and there's some moisture in those northerlies too, pushing into these southerlies. So that is what we're watching to see maybe something kick off. You can see it's only 16, 52 Ks in Wollongong, 20 Ks at Port Kembla, but it's still quite strong. Let's stick the sat pick on here. We can just go back and you see those storms, those ripples in the atmosphere above. That's a massive storm. That's a pretty nasty storm. You can see just like a big, just blop, like a big dollop of cream. And if I was to turn that off, see how these little sort of pimply looking things there, they're called overshooting tops. That's a very severe storm. That's a very nasty storm. I think we probably obviously dodged a bullet there. And you can see there's a bit of popcorn convection at the back here. So um, just pushing through, you can see in that last couple of frames, um, there's still some chance of something popping up, but you can see it's incredibly dry behind. Look at that, dew points of 10, 11, 11 down there in Barrel. So you got this massive storms here. There'll be some outflow from that, no doubt, as it dumps its guts. And you've got this southwesterly pushing up, and you've got this southeasterly pushing up, and it's moist. So it's a very complicated situation. We'll be able to see who wins the vote. You can see here this ribbing effect here of the air as it pushes up, and it's sort of getting compressed, and as it pushes up against the air that's ahead of it. Um, yeah, there's a new warning out. All right, thank you, Mr. Mayor of Camden. We'll just pull that up and have a look. Let's have a look at that. It's probably all over Red Rover, I would guess, but maybe not. Where am I looking? All right, so yeah, it wouldn't surprise me, that one there. Large hailstones, and it's for 60 minutes, so 5 o'clock, so 20 minutes ago. That's that storm I was mentioning there. Stuff clearing. Pretty much going to see the end of that, I think, pretty soon. This will slowly creep north, as you can see it, but not much happening there. Let's see what the Bureau's say in their forecast for tonight. I haven't had a look at the forecast yet. Partly cloudy, chance of showers, a thunderstorm likely, possibly severe with damaging winds and large hail. Winds north wet, we knew that. And then decreasing in the late evening. Yeah, we all knew that. Nothing we didn't know there. All right. You can see what I see the 20, 80%, 80, nearly 90% humidity on the coast as those southeast push in. So, and then you go just inland and you can see it's still 35 degrees at Olympic Park, 35 degrees with 22% humidity. So that is why the storms that are getting shredded are going towards it. But now we're going to have this southeasterly, this very moist, cool southeasterly ramming into that. So that may give us some activity as well. We'll see. Incredible delineation at the moment. In fact, we can actually see that if we go to satellite. Just bear with me while I drill down. If I go here, it's that beautiful picture, first of all, of those storms. Look how strong those storms are, incredibly strong. Not bad for mid-October. We're seeing, some potentially supercellular structure here, and you can see all those little squares in there. That's actually clouds of cloud lightning. That's a very angry storm. Not a lot of clouds of ground, but there's still at the back of it here. And still some lightning to behind me as well, I must say, which is interesting. I haven't heard any rumbles yet, but I can see the cloud that it's talking about. Definitely some crisp towers in the back of it, and you can see out here the back of that, that's clearing away. But then we're going to scroll down, you can see this. Now what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to change the view to this special uh, IR rainbow, and this actually gives you a good idea of the temperature change. So you can see here the absolute line of those purples and that dark blue is that's heat, that's warm. and you can see this like greeny sort of aqua color. That's cold air. You can see this literally just like a very like a line. And you can see basically aligns with the escarpment of the Great Dividing Range. And this is just ginormous. That is just incredibly massive storm complex. That's really cold, super cold air, that brownie color. That's way up in the atmosphere. And you can see really like there's this, it's like a party going on, a three-way party. You've got this, the drier, crappy air, the continental air here. You've got the maritime, muck, cooler, more stable air here. And then you've got this leftover, the trough as it starts to clear out. It's all sort of three. Now, if it only been sort of a bit more convenient and a bit more considerate of us, could have had what we call a triple point situation, which is an incredibly nasty situation, and probably what's going on here, actually, just right on the coast, which is where all these three air masses basically collide. Um, and these are quite regular in like the plains in the USA, where they get the severe, obviously severe storms and supercells and tornadoes. And these triple points are very much sought after by storm chasers because they're guaranteed of just incredibly severe weather, but also good viewing conditions too. Because on one side, completely clear air, almost like we've got almost over the sea at the moment, so they get very good views of the structure of storms, and if there's tornadoes coming down, they're not actually chasing in high humidity environments where tornadoes can become occluded or obstructed from view, and it's quite scary. Here they get incredible footage and views of the structure of the storm. So, um, yeah, thank you, Mike, if you're listening at all, for that picture coming through. Everything's very slow today. All right, so I'll go to some of the comments. Lovely to see you. Let's say hello, Ben. We got you. Gabby, welcome. Hello, lovely to meet you. Small Highland Queenscliff. Oh, great. Excellent. Emily Z. Paris looking sunny. Yeah, I think Emily Paris may get clipped by that stuff that's near Chester Hill, so keep an eye on that. But I think it's pretty much like here, all over Adelaide. Well, then we'll wait for this change to come through. And we've got Brian. Hello, Brian. Message retracted. Not sure I left. Hello, Sir Orangutan. Nothing in the West. G'day, Deborah. Lovely to see you. Yep. You guys are unfortunately on the crappy end of timing today. Um, Mr. Dino, expecting more storms are done for today. No, it's still 50-50 whether this change can actually kick up something, as I just showed you. It's quite a strong dry line sort of setup going here with this incredibly moist, cooler air and very dry, warmer air, and then it does tend to spark stuff up. So you can see, even just now in the satellite picture updated here, if you're looking at it, you can see these three blobs of green air. That's developing convection there, right there, just over the Illawarra. So keeping an eye on that. If I was to put radar on, we need to keep an eye on those because that is potential more activity. Look at that storm going there, nuts off the coast. And all that here, look at the lightning, incredible lightning. There's a lot of hail up there. Ice smashing around in those storms with that. You can see that little square boxes is actually cloud to cloud. And then the little positive, the pluses signs is cloud to ground. I can't really zoom in anymore on this one. Actually, I think I'm as close as I can, aren't I? Regional. Sydney City, I think I am. Yeah, I can't go any further. But definitely keep an eye on this area here. That's really nasty off the coast there. I'm just going to turn the radar off again because it just makes a big mess. You can see the lightning much better. And obviously, a good tool if you have access to something that has lightning as well, is look where there's fresh lightning. It's always indication where the convection is still quite fresh or developing. And so you can see the hot spots there. You can see it's pretty under where most of the updrafts are. But this is the area here we're watching. This surging in from the southeast. Um, Hello, Pittwater Mowing Australia. Lovely to see you. Welcome. District Southern Harbour. Yep. Looking at your windsock. Yeah, I think I showed that in the YouTube video before. Let's go down the comments. The Rise 11. Lovely to see you. Thank you for joining us. First one sending out Neutral Bay. Yep. If you've got any pictures, make sure you send them through. I'll post them once I get off the stream. And I'll show them on stream here where I can. Actually, I better just check Messenger. It's still being very unfortunate, but I'll see if I can bring it under control. Rachel's just sent stuff through, which is great. I'll just put that up. I'm still waiting for Mike. If you're listening, Mike, thank you so much for sending that picture through. But I'm still waiting for Facebook to give it to me. It hasn't downloaded still. Yeah, actually, that's a good picture, Rachel. I might just drag that across. This is Rachel's picture from Darlinghurst looking south. And you can see again, look how chunky that beast I was just showing you on radar is. So that's basically looking down. You can see this is that area here that I told you before that we're watching. That's filling in. You can see how chunky that's getting now. So I can zoom in for you. Look at that. There's fresh convection in that area. So this is basically Camden over here to the west, and that's that sell off the coast southeast of Cronulla, and that's the area that's going to be pushing up to us. So definitely it's trying. So we'll keep an eye on that. Um, we might get back to go back to radar now in case there is something developing. Put that back on. We'll turn the satellite picture off because it's actually just making a mess. Oh, come on, guys. Like, they got it. The UEs are very clunky. Look at that. 6 centimeter hail now in that beast off the coast. That is just incredible. That is absolutely massive. 6 centimeter hail. That's getting close to tennis ball size. So you're going past golf ball size and you're approaching tennis ball size. And of course, after that's cricket ball, back to 5. There you go, freshly updated then. But this here, you can see the bow wave here of the change. Look at that. That is the bow wave there. Then if I was to change that off, go back to radar, and if I put it on actually fresh hail here, just north of uh, west of Castle Hill, heading towards the back end of like Sydney Olympic Park, possibly Parramatta. We might zoom in and have a quick look at that. There you go. That's a big clump of hail, big core of hail there, just north of Chester Hill. So Chester Hill, I think, just copped some. Um, that's headed towards basically the CBD, North Sydney, and the Manly area as well, if it makes it, of course. It's starting getting a little bit problematic because you can see here there's green numbers as dry air, that 10s, 12s, incredibly dry air. So it's really fighting against the environment. I don't think it'll make it, but we'll see. And we can see some showers just starting to pop up now to the south. That's the change starting to do. That's that cloud we just saw from Rachel's picture in the YouTube video before, the weather site. That is definitely, you can see here how the wind's now shifted at Campbelltown. So 17 knots from the east-southeast. But you can see Camden is still coming. Sorry, not 17. Yeah, it is 17 knots. And you can see Camden is still coming from the north, but you can see it's now only 6 knots. So it's starting to really back down. And they're about to get the nice cool change at Camden. That will kill any chance of storms. But this one here might ride that up right through the northern beaches. That's definitely worth keeping an eye on that. That is an absolute monster off the coast. Look at that. Typical. Always peaks just off us. If it'd been half an hour earlier, 45 minutes earlier, we probably would have seen that. Um, Burst of 1 centimeter hail. Just sent you 2 photos of look at March. Check them out. I probably will love them. If I can actually get Facebook to be kind me, I'll have a look in a minute. Then. Still downloading Mike's photographs from before. I still haven't got them yet. That's just so pathetic. Anyway, I'll wait to let Cashes catches up. Um, Malachi, hello Malachi. I'm not sure which your user handle is. Oscar, hello. With the lightning out west, far will that hit Central Coast? Yes. Well, I mean Central Coast, I think is done for you. Now that storm that's going through, I think that stuff you can see up here. Oscar is going through to probably northern Central Coast, but probably more southern Hunter. But maybe you might get the end of it. But I very much, I don't think this stuff will survive much past the trip over the hill because, as I said, the area ahead of it's pretty dead and dry. Um, uh, and storms are crazy. Yeah. Neil, hello Neil, welcome. Thank you so much for your feedback. Thank you so much for your kind feedback. Great to have you. To draw at the moment, Penrith, agree, Daniel. I'm so sorry. I know that. If I remember, that's SAR too, isn't it? So SAR, Daniel, not sure which one, if you're together or not. I'm not sure if it's 2 people or 1 people, but whoever, whatever, however, lovely to hear from you. Lovely to see you. Hope you are fabulous out your way. I know it's been too long since lives. My personal life has been rather hectic of late, and that's no excuse. But there's also been not much weather to talk about, and I often ponder. I think, should I go down there and debate these clowns about chemtrails and that sort of stuff, but they don't take me up on my offer. So I just feel like not annoying people for the sake of annoying people and wasting their time to hear me prattle on about crap. But I do want to debate one of them one of these days. I might try and lure one of them out of their tinfoil hat refuges. Um, Guitars, yikes, yeah, agree, yikes. Tab Buddy, hello, Tab Buddy. Uh, Penrith does get storm. I'm going to be honest with you. October is not a good month for Penrith for storms. To be fair, it's still sort of early spring. You still have that real clash between the southern sort of weather and the northern weather, and especially with the sand bouncing around the way it is. You guys really do suffer from the proximity of the Blue Mountains. You get that downslope acceleration, the heating and the drying out of the air. Not a good situation. You really want a deeper, moister air mass that normally is associated when you get into sort of November-ish into December, when you get that stuff starting to pour down from the tropics. If there's a good year, then you start to see stuff at your way really increase, and that's when you come into your own, and that's when the coast tends to miss out because the sea breeze, the storm killer, um, keeps storms away from the coast, but you guys get the benefit of that sea breeze punching in nice and early and heating up and providing plenty of fuel. So don't get too morose yet. I know it's shitty missing out, but it's not all over your red rover for you yet. Um, the Ashman, yeah, picking up Epping, yeah, you guys have got definitely something coming towards your Ashman, so keep an eye on that. It's going to struggle though because you can see on the radar, and I'm at 32. Actually, we might just zoom in because there's nothing else at this stage to worry about. So if I go here, you can see ahead of it all these arrows, which is the wind arrows, wind roses pointing to the north, which is that southerly pushing through. And it may actually enhance this and help it. It may kill it, so we'll see. But it's got good structure. You can see how this sort of curved at the back there, which is definitely something that's got a strong updraft. And you can see go away recent. I'm actually going to turn that off now. That's just annoying the crap out of me. You can see these squares here at the back end of it, and one fresh cloud of grand lightning. So it's definitely still active. You can see there's just a tinge of purple there, which means there's still some hail in it. So definitely a chance for you guys there. So be prepared. I'll leave that going too fast. We'll see how it rides that southerly change up, doesn't destroy it or not, because maritime air is a real storm killer. Um, unless there's plenty of heat ahead of it, and then it does tend to get burnt off very nicely. Um, oh, we go. Finally, something coming through. Thank you, Rachel. Um, I don't know what's going on. I still haven't got that poor Mike Carragher's picture. He must have sent it via carrier pigeon. Facebook has just been ferocious. Sending lightning around the tinfoil hats, yeah. Um, any chance of storm hit Penrith area? I think no, nothing at this stage, Tab. Unfortunate to say, there might be some showers associated with it southerly when it pushes through, but nothing from storm-wise. I think it's all over storm-wise for anywhere sort of west of Terry Hills through to probably sort of Liverpool. The coast still has a chance tonight once that southerly does get going. We'll see, but it won't be severe. It'll be more like a thundery shower. But stranger things have happened. It's clearly that air is quite. I thought it was quite dense, but when you look at that sat picture before, it's not. So we'll see. Hello, Tori. Any storm action going offshore? Yes, Tori, you're going to have a storm in the next 10, 15, 20 minutes. So, and with possible hail. So just be ready for that. Definitely heading your way. Very windy and crow's nest, but yep, won't be far away for you. So please button down the hatches, look after yourself. Work today in Penrith was, yeah, too hot. I bet you. I saw there before, it was like 35, 36. That's pretty insane. I mean, the only reprieve, I guess, was that the air was a little bit dry there for a while, but then it was quite humid this morning, wasn't it? So, early 30s with dew points of 14 or 15 or even 16 is incredibly uncomfortable no matter what people think. They look at it and think, oh, it's only like 30, 50%. 40%. It's nasty. Because don't forget, one thing that you all forget is that the warmer the air, the more capacity it has to hold moisture. So even though it might say 34 degrees and only 40% humidity, that's muggy. Whereas if you have, for example, 18 or 19 degrees with 14% humidity, that's very pleasant and dry because cold air doesn't hold moisture as effectively as warm air, hot air does. So that's why uh, warm air events for rainfall and storms are always better because it has more capacity to hold moisture, which means more fuel, more explosiveness for storms, more rain, what's called precipitable water, which is actually rain. Whereas cold air events, well, they're quite moist because the air is cold. It doesn't have a lot to give. So once you squeeze the few drops that is out of it, unless, of course, it manages to pick up some stuff from the Tasman, if it comes the right direction, which is what that event next week that Coastal Trough looks to be doing. And we'll have a look at that actually in a minute, see if the models are holding with that, because it was going to be wet, quite wet towards the end of next week, and decent rain. But I've been very focused on the last few days, or today actually. Um, Mother Nature pub crawl. I'll join you. Uh, what's this about possible tornado? Godzilla. Who's talking about possible tornado? I'm not sure who said that. No, if you're referring to what I was talking about before, I was talking about USA. Nothing to do with here. Never said anything about tornado here at all. Thunder just hit. Good job. Enjoy that. Starly's starting here. Yep, we were watching it live. Mr. Mayor. We'll put those obs back on. You can see it probably start to swing around. Let's have a look. Last. Yep, starts to swing around for you. Interesting little turn there. There you go. There's a little shower something up just to the south or the east southeast of Thomas, and that's probably that some shower activity starting to push in. So we'll double check that in a minute. See what's on the satellite. Actually, let's just pop it up now. I can't do it. Honest. Yeah, there we go. A bit of a line of stuff coming through now. Some storms developing. You can see below it, there's a real blanket of maritime muck. In fact, it's just about to hit here. Actually, now, live now. It is just hitting here right now. I mean, the wind's been gusty for a little while, but I can see low cloud really racing in now. Let me go to the window and have a look. Yep, I'll take my glasses and actually see now. Yeah, really coming in here now. The wind is absolutely pushing. Oh, wow, look how low the cloud is. Really gusty, like really low scummy cloud. See blue sky above it with some anchors, which is interesting because it still says some instability out there, but the lower levels now is racing and it's got that moisture haze really coming in. Yeah, it's going to be pretty overcast here. I think not very long now. It's really, really smashing. Yeah, trees are thrashing out there. Um, Interesting. And so we might see some showers as yet from that, but it's not going to be anything anywhere near as interesting. But yeah, better than nothing. I mean, I saw some big drops, and that was about it. Um, I sent a video. My bad. That's all right, Mike. Here's not a drop here. Not even distant rumble. Sorry, James. Lush out at Balcombe Hills Way, but we stole the action today. But you'll have your chance in November and December. And that's the southern stratospheric warming event starts to sort of back off, and we should start to get a few more SAM events coming through. I think by then. Let's get comments. All right. Good old 3626. Yeah, I remember those days, Mr. Well. Absolutely. What did you say about watching where the lightning is? Dita, I said that where lightning is like really freshly and there's white blobs there, for example. So I'll zoom in for you. That is often an indication where obviously convection is occurring and that's where things are developing. So you can see a few dashes of white here. That's a good sign. And we're going to turn those stupid observations off again. And I might actually just turn the radar off. So you can see here, there's a few. So it's still struggling there, but it's still alive. You can see that white triangle says it's potentially a strong updraft. And that still might get through. You can see this appears to be a decent fat, yeah, look at that big fat hail core at the back there. Now that would be, so if I turn the radar off a second, what is that? Is that back of, that's probably, is that Olympic Park there? Or is that further? Because Olympic Park's around here somewhere, isn't it? What's past Olympic Park? What's the area around there? I have no idea much of the geography of Sydney, and it doesn't give me the minor locations on the radar, unlike it does for satellite picture. Anybody got any idea where that area is there between Parramatta and sort of Olympic Park? Is that Ashfield? Is that around there somewhere? Dieter, is that where you are? Around that way somewhere? Losing my mic, am I? Is it back now? Um, I was going to the window. That's why I was losing the mic. It wasn't because the mic was going. I went out to the window to look at it. If that's why the sound went a bit quiet there for a while, it's because I was actually out looking at the window trying to look at what this change is doing. Anybody got an idea what this area is here between Parramatta and the Olympic Park? That's in for some hail very soon, and decent sized hail if you look there. So I'll just go and open up the 3D radar again. We'll have a look at how big that core is. There you go. I'll have to zoom out a bit, but it's pretty decent sized storm actually. That's going to be some decent hail in there. I'll zoom out a bit just so we can see it. Look at this bugger out there. Look at the hail in there. And it's all out annoying the dolphins and whales and stuff out there. Look at the size of that. That's some big hail. Really big hail. Look at that. That's just some solid hail, like big chunks of hail going out down there. That's a massive storm. And here, look at this. This is the bow wave I was telling you about for the change. So it's just gone through, as the mayor of Camden has said. Look at it. You can see it beautifully on Doppler there. That is actually not rain. That is wind. That is an incredible picture. And you can see here pushing inland, killing any chance of storms, but and you can see it even on the Doppler here. Um, Cross section of how thick that area is at the moment. Here, this orange area here, that's up about 400, 500 meters off the ground. That's a pretty solid change. The initial edges of it, anyway. That's pretty impressive. You can see here it's pushing way up into almost Terry Hills, and this storm's still surviving in the background. Here we go. Look at that! Wow, that's a freaking monster of hail. Wow. Yeah, and around that area there, you're going to get some pretty golf ball hail, or at least cherry tomato hail. That is absolutely massive. Wish I could zoom in. It's so annoying. If I zoom in too much, you actually lose it. See, it's just, oh, there we go. Wow, look at that. That is massive. That's probably as good as you'll see on any radar in Sydney. And I'm surprised it's actually not coming up here, being picked up on. So it does lag a bit because it does take about 10 or 15 minutes for the algorithm to process the images. But um, only above that is white. And white is when you start getting into tennis ball, cricket ball, gorilla size, what they call gorilla size hail. That's some big hail there. And it's at the back of the storm too. Just don't forget, we're looking from Terry Hills across. So that's the start of it, which is there. This is the back of it. And that's the back of it. And that's where you normally find the biggest hail, at the very back. That's some big hail. Right on me, Harris Parks and Silverwater. Thank you. That's, um, yeah, yeah, it's coming straight. No, it's coming near you, Dita, that's for sure. So keep, look after yourself. It may just go to the south of you, but, um, oh, sorry, I'm trying to just getting messages all left, right, and center. I'm trying to read things and talk, and being a typical male, I can't do both at once. Um, Excellent. Okay, thanks, Sarah. She has just sent me a picture, or he. I keep misgendering him. I have no idea if it's a guy or a girl. I have no idea. I'm assuming Sarah is Daniel, but I don't want to say that because Sarah might be Daniel's partner. I have no freaking idea. I'm not rude enough to ask, but I should have asked, I guess. Look at that. That's the back end. You can see how it's really actually just really powering up. That is nasty. And it's just plonked right in the midst of this sort of cirrus shield up top. But that's a pretty beefy, massive storm. That's what that hail's going to come out of. That's a beast storm. Um, Thank you so much for that, Sar, Aka Daniel, Aka, lovely to whoever that is, meet you. Um, oh, Hail and Concord, thank you to Patrick McDonald, if you're listening. Thank you so much for that. Um, that is awesome. Um, Mr. The Mayor sent me a picture of, where's that looking at? Is that towards the southeast or southwest, Mr. Mayor? If you let me know in the comments. All right, that is absolutely extraordinary. So look after yourself, Dita, and if you grab any photographs, make sure you flick them through so I can let everybody know. I'll just refresh that now, make sure we got it. Back to this, back to this. 3 Helen Abbotsford. That will not surprise me, Daniel. Lovely to see you. Thank you for joining us. Yeah, that is impressive. I'm surprised actually that hasn't. Actually, we better check the other radar. Maybe it has. That's a big hail call, and it's not even picking up anything on there. That's just bizarre. And it's definitely hail because you just saw there. I think the algorithm must be lagged. Just she be lagged a little bit because that's a big storm. That is right now. Let's put a dot there so we can know. So anybody in that area there. So that looks like that's the back of Olympic Park, isn't it? Where's that? What's that? That IKEA? Not Tarrant Point because that's now near me. But what's the IKEA called around there that you go across the bridge and it's on the side of that little cute little shopping center. It's actually quite a nice little area, heaps of units. Anybody know what that called? Um, Something brewing near Lucas Heights. Yeah, that one surprised me. I think that's the picture that Mr. the Mayor sent through, and I'll share that in a second. Um, Rhodes, that's it, around Homebush, around there. Yeah, but it's not Homebush. It's that shopping centre. I think it's called Rhodes. It's right on just past Homebush to the north, and you go across the bridge, and then you start getting into is it Ryde and that sort of stuff there. The back end of the industrial estate, heading up to the back of the university and that sort of stuff there. Oh my God, we just had a gust of wind here. It's called the better half, destroying the kitchen. You heard that live here. Breaking news. Um, Concord, yeah, they're around that area. Yeah, yep, that's it. Excellent. Concord, Homebush Roads. I think there's an awesome little shopping center in there too with that IKEA there. Um, I had to go there once for my sister who was getting married in Darwin, and she sent there was some champagne flutes or something that she couldn't get, so I had to drive all the way there to pick them up for her. A nice little area there. I was pretty impressed. All right, so I think this is the stuff that um, may be developing to the southeast with the change coming through that Mr. Sharp took. Maybe he can let us know what direction. He says towards the city, but I think that actually may be more towards the east or southeast. And you can see the bases are a lot higher because, and you can see that squishier, and that's the effect of colder, moisture air. You can see there's not as chunky and fat as the warmer air big boys are that we've seen today, but still that sort of that maritime sort of cauliflower type look is very classic um, maritime sort of convection. Right, let's stick the radar back on. We'll get rid of that distance thing. There you go. So there's that area that he was just spotting um, on that photograph. Just come out of nothing, just to the east of Mr. Dime there in downtown Campbelltown. And without, it looks like it's heading actually towards me, but I'm not sure. But then you can see actually stuff to the south. Look at that. I'm going to zoom out now. There's that activity. Look at this here off the coast. 5 centimeters, 5 centimeters. That's a nasty system. That's supercells now. That's probably definitely supercellular now, where you got just sustained nasty hail, and it's almost into that purple, which is the gorilla size hail. And to be off the coast is quite unusual, actually. Um, that's pretty impressive. And we got this stuff here to the south now. Let's see what it's doing. Yeah, interesting moving towards the northeast, or east northeast, which is unusual in itself. You can see the lower level stuff here, even on radar. You can see this picking up, pushing inland these little dots as it pushes into the west. That's the change arriving, and this stuff's above the change. So that's probably more mid-level stuff, which is what that picture that I'll bring that picture back that Mr. Sharp, Lawn Doctor Camden showed us. You can see here it's not on the surface because this is quite high based here, but and it's quite fat but that's pretty mid-level stuff. And you can see this sort of dark autocumulus, I think it is. Probably what it is, that sort of fractus sort of stuff that you get in mid-level stuff. You know, the low level you can see is reasonably stable. Mid levels are still quite unstable. So aspects of the trough are still pushing through. It's just a freaking messy, weird situation going on at the moment. Um, Definitely nothing, no strong signal either way. What's going on? Um, Definitely get Northern Shores is getting hammered though. Definitely some again. There's some more hail. Let's have a look. See what our 3D radar is going to show us. Hasn't updated yet, but this area here, look at that. That is now moving ahead across the back end of North Sydney there, I think. That would be what Gordon, St Leonard's, I think, is the back there somewhere on there. So it's pretty pushing his all those leafy, expensive suburbs there. Be definitely some decent hail falling amongst that. Um, and more to come too, because if I freeze radar there, you can see, hopefully you can see on the stream. I'll just make sure you can see. Yeah, you can see the purple there. This purple, yeah, see it extends all the way down. That's developing hail shaft there. That's pretty nasty, and it's going to fall somewhere in those sort of leafy suburbs of sort of western North Sydney there, St Leonard's, Gordon maybe, and you can see the change air boundary here. That's just incredible stuff. Look at that. It's not very high in the atmosphere. You can see that's it there, but it's quite thick, and that's very solid. The fact that the rain radar's picking it up. This is not the wind. This is not Doppler. This is actually the rain radar. That's how thick the moisture is, and you can see there. That's the actual Doppler. You know how thick that wind is. Um, oh, oh yes, that's pictures from Miss Dita. I might pull them up in a second. Have a look. So you can see this is you see the blue streaming in here. These streams of the change as it pushes in. You can see there's just streaming up through the CBD and amongst the suburbs and hitting those sort of hills there, and sort of You can imagine, these blue lines are like the turbulence as from the ground. Oh, no, it just decides to go and get rid of it for us. But that is incredible that the rain radar is picking up how thick that changes. She's pushing, she's thick, and she's pushing way up. And you can see very close to Terry Hills. There it is there. It's so thick, incredibly thick. Um, Incredible. Look at that. That's a very decent change. Actually, if we're going to show you, there's the gradient. That's how this how these changes force storms. You can see here, that's the change, and it pushes under the air here of it, and it pushes the air up over it. This is actually a great cross section to try and explain the mechanical lifting process that I was telling you about the other day. People were saying, "Oh, there's not much cape." You don't need a lot of cape when this process happens because it shoves this air up ahead of it. And as it goes up ahead of it, of course, it scrapes off some moisture and it rips it up into up into the sky. And then it can obviously triggers convection. So you can see here it just burrows under like a wombat under the air ahead of it, forces it up into the sky. Great, actually, cross section to demonstrate that process. Mechanical lifting is the process. It's what fronts are known for. Um, Today has been about a trough that's gone, a sort of mid-level trough that's gone through, and now we get the mechanical lifting from the actual front itself, which is just a slab of colder, denser, fatter air sliding in the DMs of the warmer air ahead of it, and just rams it up above it and forces the air to rise. The process of mechanical lifting, yeah. Great, and you don't need, as I said, you don't need a lot of cape for that because this forces the air to rise itself mechanically, as opposed to convectively or even advectively, which is where you have obviously wind forcing it to rise. I mean, which is what this sort of process is really. Um, oh, look at that now. That's some very big hail cores. Wow, that is. If I was to turn that off, where's that? That's hail, that's lightning. I don't able to turn the actual um that off there. So we'll go back to here and we can turn the radar off. And so that's about this area here. So anywhere in there around the area, so it's definitely past North Sydney. It's got it heading into back of what St Ives, back of Mossman there, Willoughby. That's the areas that am in the right sort of area there. I'll zoom on this. Oh wow, that's nasty. Look at that. That's gonna be some very, very, very big hail around there. That's pretty gonna have to golf ball with bigger. Look at the color of that. That's off the charts up here almost. That's the sort of stuff. That's massive, massive hail. And that's tapping into that warmer, dry air from the north, that colder maritime air, and the leftover of the trough. And that's that triple point thing I was talking about before. That's some freaking big hail. Wow, that is incredible. I mean, I hope for the sake of the mayor of Freshwater that he's listening, and I hope he actually gets them, but I hope it doesn't do any damage because he's been complaining about missing out and everything. So it's herring straight for you. So you might get exactly what you wanted. Um, that is wow, that's some big hail. Wow, 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 wow. Far out. That is absolutely extraordinary. I mean, let's measure it now. There, to there, to there. So almost 2 kilometers across that way, and almost 1 kilometer across that way. So you're talking about an area of what, 2 by 1, like what's that? 3 or 4 kilometers square. I don't know. I'm shit at math. That's a freaking big area under one massive hail core. The only problem is, I guess there's not probably a lot of people that live down there because it's quite leafy and sort of remote, isn't it? It's the back end of the. Is there a national park or some shit down there, back of St Ives? But man, that's a freaking big hail core. I really hope for the sake of people in sort of Manly, uh, the back end of Manly here, Freshwater, this area here, whatever area that is here, for those people in that area there, look out because it's heading straight towards you. That is absolutely nasty. Of course, you've got any photographs or video and that stuff, please feel free to send it through. Oh, Ben just sent some stuff through from Hale. Is that Manly? Cool. I'll get that videos up in a sec. Um, Mr. Sharp sends some videos through too. Oh, look at that. I'm just going to look at let's see if this is updated. That's a massive, massive hardcore. Wow, 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 wow. There we go. Let's see if we can pick it. I think let's just skip through that. We're going to miss it. There it is there. you can see how high up from the atmosphere it comes. So there you're looking at 3Ks, maybe high. I'm pretty a bit far in, so I'm going to lose a bit of perspective. So I'm going to zoom out for you guys. Um, and you'll lose a bit, unfortunately. But look at that. That's coming from way up in the sky. So you can see that red streak here. I hope you can see that coming right down, and that purple clump there. That's the hail core. That is it going way, way up into the atmosphere. And so there you're looking at that's well, it's 5 kilometers or more. But of course, we're too close to Terry Hills now, so we're going to lose some perspective. I'm just surprised that actually that hasn't picked up that there's because that's some big freaking. And that's not rain because it's by any means that's not rain. It is massive. Wow, and it goes way up. And of course, I can't go any further for you because it's just too close to Terry Hills. We don't get any perspective. So we're going to swing around. We can see if there's any other cores there for you. Yeah. Okay, let's see if we can zoom into that. Yeah. Yeah, no, I hate when I do that. There's a good size one there. So you're looking at it goes from, 2 kilometers above down to, almost half a kilometer. So it's, it's almost a kilometer in length, that hail core. There's another one there. That's a good one. Look at that. It goes from nearly 2.5 kilometers up down to nearly that. So it's only 2 kilometers long and 1.78 to, 10.5 to 500 meters wide. So 2Ks, high versus 500 meters wide or more. Um, it's that's pretty damn big. That's some good size hail. Nothing yet, but you can see how those updrafts are pushing way up into the sky. So for those who are like think, what the freaking hell is he looking at? This is basically just this here with basically if I took a cake knife and sliced right through the middle of that storm. So that's Terry Hills. I'm looking to the southeast. So this area over here is off the coast, near this off Malabar, that sort of stuff. You can see this area here is this is all maritime muck coming in associated with the change. This is here. This is that storm here just off to the northeast of, or just basically just off South Head, basically, right through. And this is like a cross section of it. So, and then when I move this around, it's basically looking through a cross section in different angles. And you see that white line, that's the direction. So I'm going basically like a laser through the storm, just try and pick out these sort of purpley areas for you. And that's where the hail is. And you can see the brighter the color here on this scale, the more that's the stronger the return on the Doppler radar, so that the beam goes out, hits it, comes back quite strong, and that indicates that it's quite a solid mass or quite a large mass, and that's some big hail in there. And then, so what you do then is you look at where that is. You can say, all right, it's there on the radar. So we go over across here, and it's probably around this area here, and then you can work out basically where it's going to fall. So that's the sort of to the east northeast of North Sydney, across to that sort of pretty richy area there at the back of Taronga Zoo, heading across towards sort of the back area of Manly there, freshwater. Still going, by the way. Isn't that a weird crescent sort of shape? Look at that. It's almost like a half moon. Never seen that before on radar. But anyway, yeah, it looks like maybe the mayor of freshwater might be getting some hail. You'd be very happy with that. And you can see now just on that last frame, that's pushing across just to the south of me. So then actually it's getting very dark here and clouded over actually now. Yep. It's not much, I can't see much sky anymore. It's quite windy and it's got that horrible maritime muck trash coming through. I was about to say these are the coastal showers starting to develop here. In that sort of drizzly stuff you can see here as it starts to push in against the coast. And I guess hopefully we'll see some showers and that because we didn't see much here today at all. Oh, here we go. And now this beast off the coast is now gone to 5 centimeters, and that's now into tennis ball size. You can see it's gone purple. That's extreme. That is absolute beast. Let's have a look at that. Hopefully we might be able to get that. There we go. Oh, far out. Holy shit. Look at the size of that hail core. It is going 8 kilometers or 7.5 kilometers up in the damn sky. Oh, of course it goes and changes. Let's go over here and see if we can get it. Oh, far out. Oh my God, look at that. That is 8 kilometers up and it goes all the way down to the surface. That's a massive hail shaft that's ramming down. And you're looking at, I mean, that's 8 kilometers long. And then you got 43 kilometers there to 2 kilometers wide by 8 kilometers long of almost solid, I mean, not solid ice, obviously, but of ice, of hail. Look at that. Far out. Let's see if I can get with pick out with that 5 centimeter. That would be it there. That's probably it there. I'd say what it's picking up that 5 centimeter stuff. Look at that. That is nasty. That's this scale here. That's almost, if you get that white scale, that's like cricket ball, softball. That's like, they're called gorilla hail. I mean, this is probably tennis ball close to it there. That is freaking insane. Freaking insane. That is this. I mean, I think we obviously dodged a bullet there. I mean, obviously we would love to have seen it even because we all love storms, but that is just. That is, and that's a far away from the radar. Don't forget, that's 40, 50 Ks away from the radar. So, um, my God, that is just ginormous. That is a absolute beast. That's the sort of thing you would see in the US, the Great Plains. I mean, look at that. That is just almost just one solid slab of ice coming from way up in the atmosphere. Let's see how high that storm is. Zooming out now. Here we go. We might get the whole lot of it and see how. I mean, it's pretty going up right up to the chopper paws are 6 centimeters hail now. 6 centimeters. 6 centimeter hail. And it's 14 Ks high. I mean, that's probably bashing against the outer edges of the chopper paws or troposphere. I can't remember which one it is, but and of course there's our Mr. Change. Look at that. But that's a long, long way up in the sky. In fact, it's over 14 Ks now. Far out. And look at that. It's just one solid slab of damn hail. I mean, of course, it'll be little balls of it, of course, or big balls of it. Looking at that, 6 centimeters. Far out. Wow. Let me know in the comments anybody what 6 centimeters is because I'm pretty sure it's probably bigger than tennis ball. I'm maybe saying uh it's not softball. It's probably what's the grapefruit? No, grapefruit's pretty bigger than softball, isn't it? And is it tennis ball size or is it just below cricket ball, tennis ball size? 6 centimeters. I'm not sure myself, but that's freaking massive. Um, St Ives. Okay, Ben sent me some stuff from out St Ives way. Well, I'm just oogle over 6 centimeters. Let me have a look. Um, Monica sent me some pictures from there. Quick black now. Ben, here we go. Video. Here we go. Here we go. All right, I'm gonna bring that across now. All righty. You can probably hear that. Here we go. Nice hail there. Pretty pea size there. What pea size? Almost grape size there at some stage there. So probably what 1 to 2, maybe a 3 centimeter. Very good. I haven't seen a hail like that in ages. All right, look at this one. Some bigger size stuff there. Yeah, you can see here. Look. Probably getting to probably 2 centimeters. Maybe the odd game leaving the car out there. I wouldn't be leaving the car out. Unless you're looking for a new paint job. Borderline getting close. Borderline getting close there to largest. Oh, close, but that's nasty. More than what we've seen. All right, let's go back to radar. Check out. I think it's cleared out now. Anybody from out that way, freshwater, sort of DY, and there's back suburbs. Let us know if you've got anything from that. I can see that stuff pushing up Kernel now. It's pretty much hidden though by a lot of stratocumulus, like very low level stratocumulus. If I was to turn, we'll go back to sat pick. I've got 3 radars open here. If I turn that off, turn the radar off, turn lightning off, turn the stupid observation off, you can see now that fuzzy sort of stuff. That's all stratocumulus. You can see like that ribbed for your pleasures effect. Um, yeah, it's just about all over. You can see here now the maritime muck is now starting to push in, so it's almost at Appen. Camden's got some convective cumulus around, but ain't going to go very far. You can see this beast here. Wow, look at that. It's actually bulging back towards us. That's how strong that thing is. Damn, I wish we'd seen it a bit closer. But anyway, I don't wish the destruction that it would have brought, because it would have brought pretty decent destruction. But you can see here, this is that maritime muck just flooding in. Looks like those cinnamon rolls, isn't it, up there in the Upper Hunter? There's some big cells there, some very, very strong cells. That is a beast. That is probably one of the strongest storms we've seen this year so far, and probably in the last few years, to be honest. When you get 6 centimeter hail, you're pushing outside of, even severe storms into like the upper tier of these storms. 6 centimeters is absolutely incredible. Absolutely incredible. Far out. No, I might still get something yet. There's a bit of a storm, not storm, that's actually just a shower, a decent shower. Um, all right, Mr. Mayor has sent me some stuff. Let's have a look at that. Oh, there is the ruler. Yeah, it's pretty well. I pretty only 1 to 2 centimeter. I think. Let's have a look at it. We got.
Towards
Uh,
Campbelltown.
here's his video for this one. This is the change coming through. Oh, there you go. Look at that. Beautiful. Let's just
Over towards the city.
pause that there. So that is. Come on. That's the stuff down off the coast of Wollongong we're just looking at. Nice crisp tower, you can see that, but it's not glaciated here. That means that when I say glaciated, it means it gets that sort of fuzzy, sort of furry top of it. It's called the anvil. That's still in the developing stage, and the anvil normally indicates it's in the mature phase. You can see here, I go back and just again, far off, seriously. Okay, so you can see sort of that lower level hazy stuff, and then you can see here that mid-level stuff. So that's the change pushing through. That's that sort of end of the mid-level, the trough pushing through. You can see there's quite a disconnect. You can see even blue sky almost. That hazy stuff's the change. That's the end of the trough pushing through, and they're not connecting up.
Over
But you can see it feeds into the back of this stuff here. So you
towards the
can see it
city.
pushing up into that, into the moisture. You can see the back end of that anvil. This is all just sort of cumulus, but it's almost fair weather cumulus. Nothing going to develop like that. That's the other one we were looking at before. That's pretty pushing towards me, I think. Maybe that's what that
Heading
stuff
north.
is. That's looking back up towards the hunter. Lucky buggers. Lucky them. Yeah, let's look at this one. So I'm
And there's
assuming
that
that,
haze you were talking about.
yeah, that's looking towards Richmond, I'd say, isn't it? Looking at that perspective.
And there's that haze you were talking.
Yeah, storms up at Richmond Way. And there's the ruler. That really 15 centimeters, so 6 centimeters that big. So that's probably, I mean, that's probably what, that's bigger than tennis ball, I think. It's probably getting into what, cricket ball? 6 centimeters, be pretty close to cricket ball. That's freaking big. And I'm glad it's probably not wreaking havoc upon us. But I mean, it still would have been nice to sort of see it a bit closer. But yeah, I don't want to wish it damage to anybody. Most people are still getting over even the trauma from. Um, all right, so Ray Bush is there. Let's thank you, Ray. If you're listening to the stream, I've got him. I'll bring him across now. I'm going to try and go through and get all these photographs later once I get off and have some dinny. Nice picture. You Church Point, Pittswater. What a beautiful location. Okay, so I'm assuming that is looking to the north. Is that towards where that stuff is, Ray? Pittwater. Look at that location there. Holy hell, man! You live in a beautiful place. Oh, we got some video as well. All right, so that's definitely looking towards. Is that towards Manly, Freshwater Way? The back of it has gone over you. Beautiful location. Wow. And then that's it. What a absolutely glorious. It's almost postcard like, isn't it? I mean, Sydney really does have some gorgeous areas, doesn't it? Outside of the inner city and some of the places like up that area there is just stunning. Um, Stunning. All right, so we got quickly get to radar. We get that showers coming through. It's indicated. This white arrow actually is indicative that there's persistent rotation, or not. Sorry, persistent updrafts. Gotta get the right word. Otherwise, some Karen will come after me. Persistent updrafts, which indicates keep an eye on them. It could potentially get stronger. Um, oh no, oh no, you didn't. Oh no, I think James is. We better have a look at James's message because I think his brand new car might have got a nice little touch up. We better look at Adita's photos first because I promised her I'd look at them next. So I'll have a look at them. She's near the somewhere at the back of Whoop Whoop, I think, near the home bush or somewhere like that. You can see that's the active we had before. Come on, come back. Here we go. Yep. So that's the activity that she was showing us before, the back of it. Trees sort of blocking her view. You can see the back of those towers there, which is nice. Really punching out with that, really aggressive. And that scuddy sort of look as well as the change sort of undermines the convection as well. Sort of classic. And let's have a look now at, Lane Cove. Oh, thank you, Nicole, if you're on listening. That's decent size. That's P size. Um, Getting very close to actually that severe size. Actually, around the P size is when they start classifying it as large hail. So that's getting close as well. Good size, but that sort of stuff, thankfully, won't. That's a big one there. Look at that. That sort of stuff won't normally cause damage to stuff. It's close to it though. Although the occasional stone there, look at that. There's a couple of big stones there. Big round ones too. But let's have a look at this. Now, um, I don't know. It hasn't come through yet. I thought Ben actually had sent. Someone had sent a picture. James did. Had sent a picture of his car, but it actually hasn't come through yet. Still waiting for it to download. Thank you, Messenger. All right, well, we'll put it over here, and just let the gods, the upload gods, maybe refresh it. Hopefully it works soon. With getting, hopefully it's not too damaged. Um, oh yep. Looking at it on my iPad now. I'm gonna try and actually see if I can um airdrop that to me to myself. Probably quicker than trying to wait for Facebook, what's ever going on with Facebook to actually even send it to me. Oh, maybe not. Now I can't get this to work. There we go. Where is his car? There it is there. And we'll airdrop that sucker. All right, here we go. You probably heard the bing, bing, bing. Now, why can't I? I'm actually going to quit Messenger there. And let's see if I can get. I can't even access. I cannot access my Finder. I don't know where the hell it's gone. That is just bizarre. Come on, where's the file gone, peeps? That's really bizarre. That's actually weren't even there. It is. Why can't I grab that though? It won't let me get it. It just goes and disappears on me. Hey, that is bizarre. Where has it gone? Question on that notice. That is just truly. Oh well, I will keep trying to find it. Um, I don't know. I am stuck. I'm lost for words about where my Finder has hidden that file. Is it over there behind the chat? Maybe not. Is it over here behind this window? No. Is it behind this window? Nope, nope, nope. I have no idea. Welcome to the world of Max. I'm gonna check. There it is. Ah, got it. Now I've got it. That's bizarre, but you have to go to the bin. But anyway, let's open it. Hopefully you guys can see that now. Yep. Okay, let's make it big so it's not B. Let's see. The is his new car, so he can pick up any dingy dings. Oh yeah, couple of. Oh yeah, there's one there, big ding there. Oh no, one there. Oh no. Oh, James D. I'm so sorry about that. Well, I mean, there's one solace and all that, I guess, is that the ding is smaller than your hand. So, but I shouldn't joke about that. That's terrible. I hope you've got insurance. I mean, thankfully, it's a dark color car and it's not that obvious straight away. And it's not like the big dents you get from some of the stuff, but that's pretty bad. You poor bugger. Bit of drizzly shower falling off. Now, I think it's pretty bad all over Red Rover. I think, let me go check some questions and we'll go. Um, let's have a look. Um, Benjamin Haslam, Nestle. Hello, Nestle. Lovely to see you. Nice to meet you. I go camping. Did you get anything, Mr. Camping, or we're gonna hear you grizzle about it for a few weeks? Heating and freshly right. Yeah, you got some. You better got some pictures, and you better send them through to me after complaining about missing out because we all missed out. So, um, bike's good. Got to go. So, Mr. CBB 35. No storms later tonight. I don't think so. There was a very like there was a chance on the coast, but I think looking at those maritime muck moving through now, there's zero chance of anything to be honest. Um, can you check the Coffs Harbour storm, please? Yep, I can do that. Nate, let me give Mr. Hello, Ash. Lovely to see you. Dealing battle with the Tin Foil Brigade today. Good job. I wonder if he's put an apology in there about being wrong. I doubt it. Um, uh, Monty's starting young now, like he's warning me. Yeah, actually, I was going to ask you, part anybody else who's got animals, dogs or cats, did you notice they were very strange behavior this afternoon? Because my better half is normally not very aware of that stuff, not very interested in that sort of stuff, loves the animals, but not really. But even they said the animals are acting really weird. Like the storm cat's acting like slinking around, the tail's down, running from room to room, like something's there, like spooking him. I'm like, yeah, they pick up the drop in air pressure, probably even the increase in electrical field, the electric static as the storms are sort of pushing in. Anybody else's animals pick that up as well? But like the storm bird let us down. I didn't hear him at all today, or it or she or whatever it identifies itself as. Um, Tennis ball, yeah. Um, I'm an expert in 6 centimeters. I bet you are. I go. Aaron, hello, Aaron. Lovely to see you. Any chance between no Penrith consumer? Sorry to say, Aaron. Nope, no chance at all. It's pretty much dead in the water for everybody now. The maritime muck will move in and stabilize the air, and that'll be it. Um, good thing is it doesn't look so strong, so maybe it might clear tomorrow. We can get back to having some sun. Um, uh, don't know another insurance claim. No, you don't. Oh, poor bugger. These balls are 6.8 centimeters. Tennis balls 6.8 centimeters. Whoa, grapefruit. Wow. Southern Peakhurst, yeah, it's nice, isn't it, Nestle? It's very refreshing, but it's definitely can kills everything else. Screaming from the south. That's your yeah. That's the end of anything at your way, Dita. Sorry to say. Um, Funky Diva. Hello, Funky Diva. Love to see you. Your cat stays staring in your blanket. You're lucky. Stormcat was not impressed at all. And as soon as I saw him slinking around like that, I'm like, oh, okay, something's definitely coming. Finally hitting Sally. Yep, up your way. Picture. I might have to look at it later, Mr. Sharp, because Messenger's just being a goat, so I just want to ignore it now. Hail at Engadine. Yay. Excellent. Some good stuff there. Thank you, Mr. Sharp. Mr. Well. Um, um, Alrighty, let's have a quick. What we'll do is we'll quickly have a look at the models coming up. Let's have a look at them for this week. See if they're going to diddle us over for that rain event or not. That is a beast of a storm. Like that is one of the all-time beauties that you'll see. And it's just sad that I know I shouldn't say sad, but it is just sad that we missed it. Because that is absolutely impressive. That is just impressive. That is one of the best things you'll sort of an example of a good storm you'll see in Australia in a long time. Just classic structure. Look at that core teardrop anvil to the southeast. Wow. I mean, even there's a big one there, but impressive. I mean, look at those up here too. Look at them. Just love it. We need more days like that, don't we? Have to register our objections. All right, let's have a look at this week coming up. See if that rain event's going to happen or it's going to screw us over, and then I'm going to go and have some dinner because I'm getting the messages. So there is some. Look, it's Wednesday, 37. Okay, we might have some chance of stuff on Wednesday. Let's have a quick look. And we want go away. I want more later. Thank you. Wednesday, stormy, 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 stormies. Let's have a look. There we go. And Tuesday, oh, some storms on the ranges Tuesday. Annoying for us, definitely in there. Look at that. And to Wednesday, so just doing a trough coming, I'd say. Yeah, there comes the trough now. Another setup like today, actually. It's gonna be pretty heavily capped again. Not as dynamic though, you can see here. Not as strong as always today was. So if I go back and show you what today looks like, there you go. That's insane. That there, that's off the scale sort of color. And you can see how it explodes, pushes through the coast. And you can see pretty much now that's all over Red Rover. Wednesday looking, okay, chance of a storm Wednesday. There's a bit of change coming through. Looks like the rain event has absolutely died though. Well, that's annoying. I'll go back and double check. Let's have a look. Wednesday. Yeah, not much rain on there. I hate north cloud events coming in from northwest, I must say. They never ever bring us decent, and it's actually completely robbed us. So we were going to have a coastal trough, which is there sort of now, but you can see how weak it is. Just some light showers, bleh, bleh, bleh. And then it's doing this usual Goldilocks crap again, which is, you know, throwing out the dog in the bone for us the week after. Oh, it's okay. Even though I screwed you over for this week, next week with the rain, I'm going to put it the week after and just drag your hopes out a bit more. No, you can get stuffed. Um, all right, let's see if any other wells is just giving us any hope about any wet stuff soon. Nah, some light showers in GFS, dead as a doornail. Icon, dead as a doornail. Medio Blue, which is the AI sort of equivalent of EC, but it's owned by a private company, dead as a doornail. Meh. Access, come on, Access, dead as a doornail. Other than that, one, yeah, some showery stuff for the change on Friday, but that's way too far away. And Access tends to overdo them anyway. All right, we'll look at tomorrow's chance and then I'll say good evening to you and wish you all well and stop putting you into a coma. All right, well, we're not the 22nd, so go back to here. Can't believe it's Friday. Hooray. What a freaking horrific week, I must say. Um, Thank you for all the well wishes too about my better half. They're currently on 4 weeks medical leave because of their workplace, which is one of the things. I'm not going to sort of say much too more about that because I don't want to embarrass them but it's just been the most horrendous 1 week or 2 weeks, which is another reason why I haven't done a lot of lives. I've just been holding on for both of us and running everything I can and trying to take the pressure off them. But they absolutely love their job, absolutely fantastic at it, and are getting screwed over harder than Bonnie Blue. And if anybody knows who Bonnie Blue is, you know exactly what I'm talking about. When they talk about men in the Navy and, you know, if you travel in submarines being seamen, then you can use that euphemism for Bonnie Blue, but they're being screwed over harder than Bonnie Blue, which is I'm broken about it, to be honest. I'm actually really angry. I can't believe in today's society that corporations think they can get away from this. And of course, no one wants to help you unless you have bucket loads of money. So I have been basically doing it by myself with ChatGPT, and it's been incredibly stressful on me, I must say, because I don't want to let them down and put a foot wrong and obviously give them a bum steer. But far out, if I was to swear on stream, it's probably just be about now. I don't swear on stream because I just want to be respectful of everybody. But man, I'll put the mic on mute for a second and tell you how exactly I feel. You have got no idea about this process. I wish I could tell you the whole story. You would be all horrifically shocked. And if you know any good IR lawyers or anybody who's got some common sense or can give, even just please DM me because I am really struggling at this stage in coping with this all by myself. Done to the point where the doctors at least given them, the workers' comp thing and that sort of stuff to protect them, and said in that, and this is how strong it is. The doctor has said not to go back to that workplace until until this is fixed. So that's, it's pretty significant coming from a doctor. Um, I went to an interview as a support person because the first one they did at short notice, and they said, oh, you can bring a support person, but of course, we can organize a support person at work in 5 minutes. So I went to the second one, and they paraded us through their staff room to get to this interview room in front of all these people, and I felt so fucking, oops, sorry, I said it, but I felt so hurt and embarrassed for them in front of their colleagues. They were made to do this for nothing that they've done wrong. And I just don't get it. And I was furious. I was furious. Oh, lordy, 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 lordy. Ever since I've been on my ADHD meds for a couple of years now, I don't get angry anywhere near as much anymore. And I've just noticed a massive change. But man, I was so freaking angry. Like, for me, I probably wouldn't be as angry, but for them, they don't deserve it. They're good people. They don't do anything. They're never horrible to anybody. I was so furious. So, so, so furious. Anyway, long story short, sent them all these emails. Don't acknowledge their emails. Don't reply to their emails. Sent them one last week saying, if you don't reply, we're going to have to go to the doctor. We've got no choice, X, Y, Z. They haven't even told them what they've done wrong, mind you. They've had all these interviews and disciplinary things and still have no idea what they've done wrong. It's just, it's so, ooh, I'm getting, my blood pressure's going up now. I shouldn't even be worrying you guys with this shit. But that's why if I disappear, I don't reply to DMs quickly sometimes. It's because that's what I'm doing. I'm actually just having a break from social media because just the stress of wanting, I'm not a violent person, but wanting to hop in the car and just go and hurt one of them. And not that I would ever do that, but I can fantasize about it, of course. Um, Far out, man. I wish I could tell you the truth about what's going on. I would love to do an expose on these people and spread the video far and wide and absolutely shame them. I've thought about going to, some media contacts and that sort of stuff and sort of giving the details, but I don't want to embarrass them. They just want to get on with it. They just want to do their job. They love their job. They love what they do. Ah, far out. Anyway, I am going to hop off. New South Wales Health, I was looking in Union have legal coverage. I'm so glad you looked after Funky Diva. Um, my better half is in the retail, and even though they do have sort of a union thing, bits and pieces, they're not that helpful. It's probably the word I would use, to be honest. And they only really want to know you once that you've got the chop, and they don't deserve that at all. And I guess my perspective is that I want to validate them and not have to put them through that shit. But looks, unfortunately, sometimes is that the system is geared towards you actually having to get the chop to fight. You know, and I know there's some people in the chat who've had that experience. And I'm not going to name the names of because that would be, I don't want to embarrass them and also personal business. But we've talked about it and what they've been through as well. So that person knows exactly where I'm at right now, and I'm sure that that person almost went and bought an automatic weapon. I'm joking. Don't everybody think that I'm not. I'm joking. 100%. I'm going to put asterisks next to that, but that person knows who I'm talking about. I hope you never use it either, Mr. Igo. I know, did I thought about actually calling you in to help. I was like, you'll rip these people into pieces, but you've got your own shit to go through, so I don't want to burden anybody. But man, 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 Bonnie Bill's been filled more than a King's Cross glory hole. Ain't that the truth? Ain't that the truth? Um, Bureau's issued a new warning. Okay, what's the new warning for? Quickly before I go, let's have a look. I'm imagining it's probably going to be giving it the backside of us, is it? For Gosford? Yeah. No, that's 6 o'clock. That's gone, I think. That's that one we were talking about watching in real time. That'll be the end of that. I think that's it for tomorrow for us. What's the forecast for tomorrow? Slight chance of a shower, blah 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 blah. Yeah, it'll be maritime muck into the morning, and then I think by lunchtime we'll start to see it burn off. It should be not a bad afternoon. It's not going to be as cold. As I said, the cold air is not as deep this time around. We saw the satellite picture. There's not going very far back, unless there's like a real surge overnight. That should be about it. That's still 6 centimeter hail out there, by the way. Holy hell, that's a big beast of a storm. Still going, churning my way out there, harassing the whales. Anyway, I'm going to wish you all a good evening. I have to go and spend time with the better half and have the dinner. But oh, what on there? I don't know what I did there. Push a button. But I really appreciate your company. It's been great to have you around, and it's been awesome to really just watch this event unfold. Not everybody got it. I understand. Some people disappointed. That's unfortunately the way the weather is. But at least we got to see it. Some people got some pretty decent sized hail. Hopefully, I go camping. The Mayor of Freshwater is going to send me some of the pictures of the. Of course, he got video and pictures of that hail up his way. Of course, he did. He would have not got pictures and camp of that hail up there, would he? Looking in his direction. But otherwise, yep. I will go through and dig the pictures out of obviously the DMs tonight and put them up as well a bit later on the reels. So, and of course, acknowledge people who've sent stuff through and appreciate those people who have sent stuff through. So, thank you so much. I'll also pump out I'll see what time it is. I'll try and do a quick forecast. It's not going to be that difficult for tomorrow. Actually, it's just going to be partly cloudy, easing to mostly sunny afternoon, or partly cloudy, mostly cloudy, easing to partly cloudy. Maybe a chance of a shower, nothing major. At least the airport's getting a bit of a drop now, but I can tell you there's nothing major in that stuff, even though it looks dramatic on radar. It's really not much what I can see here. Okay, Decklys, well, it has been a pleasure to have your company yet again. There's no music, there's no graphics because it was all on the T4 USB hub drive that died on me. But anyway, it's all good. I'm sure you can forgive me this once, but I will catch you again later. We need to make dates. We need to have dates. We need to have date night. I will definitely I need to start thinking about that when I get some my clear time in my head. Otherwise, thank you again for your company. Thank you for your well wishes, your compliments, your criticisms. It's always all welcome because we always get better. We all get better from that perspective. And that is what it is really all about. Serving you, the amazing people of our weather community and honorary nerds. And have a great evening. Thank you so much. And I'll be chatting to you. Catch you later.